Hey guys, you're watching Team APS. In today's video, I'm with Alec, and by popular request, we're getting another deck profile. It's been a while since we've done one of these. What deck is it?
This is Shiranui Zombies.
Yeah, cool. Let's see what this is all about. And before we start, let me shamelessly plug this playmat that you can buy at the link in the description. Worked really hard to make this design, so buying this mat supports us, and I just wanted to remind you all of that. Alright, into the actual fun stuff.
Alright guys, let's start off with got Shiranui Spectral Sword. It's actually on top only because it looks nice. I only run one copy of it. It's a great tuner for the deck. It basically will synchro summon out the grave into a zombie. And it can make all those weird little zombies that we could make before, like Doom Kaiser and Archfiend Zombie Skull. So he's solid at more than he's really slow unless you get him in the grave. So one's more than enough. And Shiranui Spirit Master. I would say he's the best that Shiranui really have to offer. When you summon it, you can special summon a Shiranui from your hand or grave. So he sets up synchro plays or Xyz plays, depending on the deck. And when it's banished, it can pop a card on the field, which has even more use later. I'll explain. I run two of the Shiranui Samurai. He's just decent. He's 1800. His effect, he actually gains attack by banishing a zombie out your grave. And so he can spin over like most small problems. And when he's banished, he adds a Shiranui card from your grave to your hand. So he adds a little recyclability to the deck. He's not amazing, but at 2, I don't have a problem with him. And sometimes I do like to get the recyclability off. I run only one Smith, because to be completely honest, Smith is really he's like a bad version of Goblin Zombie, which isn't saying much because a lot of people consider Goblin Zombie bad in the first place. But he only can get his search off if he uses a synchro material monster, and no other ways will he get that search. So he's really limited. So I can't justify putting him at more than one. And when he's banished, he says that your zombie monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, which would be great if that effect went off on your opponent's turn. But it goes off on your turn, which kind of means you can suicide into things, I guess. Alright, but that's Shiranui monsters. They're not great, but they do add a little something to the deck that lets it kind of play again. Whoa. 3 Unizombies. Still the biggest playmaker of the deck. He's the reason why you can send zombies to the grave. He sends your Mizukis. He'll send your Spectral Swords. He sends anything you want to the grave. Yeah, he's kind of just the one card that you want to see the most out of the deck. You don't even really want to see some of the Shiranui stuff at the beginning. You want to see him. Triple Mizuki. He's principally what you want to send to the grave, and he'll give you back any zombie you want, even if you turn it into a zombie with, say, like Zombie World. So you can bring back some pretty powerful monsters. I run at 3 because I like to be able to see them as much as possible and as long as possible. I run 3 Goblin Zombies. Some people might not like that I use 3 of all things, but I like 3 of them because one, when he's sent to the graveyard, he searches a zombie with 1200 less defense, which is basically the entire deck. But what's more important than that is the fact that he searches Unizombie. So even though Unizombies are 3 cards out of a 40 card deck, you're not always going to see him. But if you count Goblin Zombie as another copy of Unizombie, albeit slow, he'll let you play turn 2 if you couldn't play turn 1. I run him at 3 just to increase my chances of seeing Unizombie. 2 Zombie Master, big combo part of any zombie deck, pitch to grave, special summon. He's just really solid. Yeah, he's just a really solid monster for the deck. 3 was a little much. 2 Plaguespreader. Next to Unizombie, he's still the best tuner in the deck. I mean, you can normal summon him, sync, goes to the graves, uses effect, special summon again, sync again. Just for that alone, he kind of warrants 2 spots in my builds at all times. As far as he competes a little bit with Spectral Sword, But if you know your situation, you might find that Spectral Sword might be a bit more useful to you than a Plaguespreader would be. You know, Plaguespreader has to get on field to get to sync. Then I go into like the underworlds. What was your name? Tristan, and one is Sold. They help you make the rank 8 zombie plays, and I do use them. Of course, it takes a little bit of setup. A lot of times, if I can get Unisom B off, I'll send his soul to the grave as fast as possible. And because that means all I have to do is get into a Tristan, which can be searched or drawn into, normal summon, add her back to hand, special summoner, 8 stars. She doesn't even need Tristan to use that effect to make them like anywhere from 5 to 8. So you can just normal summon her alongside Unisom B and still do the same play. It's beautiful. The only thing about it is she says you can only make zombies, so you can't go crazy. Spells, I start off with 2 Zombie World and 2 Terraforming. Zombie World is a huge part of the deck because I don't like to just be limited just to zombie synchro monsters. I'd rather just make all my synchro zombies and then I don't have attack restrictions or anything. I love it. And it even messes with your opponent a little bit, especially when it comes to things like Monarchs, like the Tribute. Zombie World says they came in Tribute. So Zombie World, I feel in my opinion, has gotten a little bit better. And I mean, even if Monarchs weren't a big thing, I'd still run it. 1 Golden Sarcophagus, or Gold Sarcophagus. It's not something I traditionally would have run, but Shiranui monsters, they get effects when they're banished. So when Gold Sark banishes a Shiranui monster, it can get its effect, and in 2 turns, you get it to hand. A lot of times, I use this for like spot removal. You know, banish a Spirit Master, pop a card, and in 2 turns, I'll get it to hand. I can't complain with that. And if you want, you can even use the Samurai to search one out the grave. 1 Foolish, that's enough said. You want to get them in grave as fast as possible. Burial, it was more necessary before we got like some people like Omega, but even then, still putting 3 banished monsters back into your grave, especially with Mizuki, it's invaluable. 1 Soul Charge. This could be to some people this could be a Regeki too, but for me it's Soul Charge because I like to, in my graveyard there's always a bunch of like really juicy synchro monsters that just didn't make it. So if I'm in a bad spot and I don't really need my battle phase, I'll just bring them all back. You know, let my opponent deal with whatever I bring. I run 1 Lance because sometimes you actually want to protect your synchro monsters when you get them to the field. Lance is great for that. Then I run 3 Samurai style, Swallow Slash. The card is so good that you can run it at whatever number you want. I like 3. Especially with Goblin Zombie being at 3 in my deck. I love hitting Goblin Zombie with this effect. I can get a card, an effect, and pop 2 cards off the field. I mean, it's beautiful. And if you it has to banish a Shiranui when you use it. So if you banish Spirit Master, you can pop a 3rd card. Which you're thinking, you already got 2. Why do you need a 3rd? Because sometimes you literally need to pop 3 cards, and I've never had a problem with it. 1 Call, you guessed it, big monsters in grave, bring them back. And I guess combo potential. 1 D Prison, just to keep your opponent honest. You activate 1 D Prison, they're gonna have to wonder if you have more. Then Solemn, Bottomless, Compulse, just monster move for anything that's difficult. That's it for the main deck. I got an extra deck going. Start off with my 6s. I got Shiranui Samurai Saga. He's what people refer to as the worst zombie synchro. Out of the Shiranui. His effect allows you to take one of your banished zombies and put it back into the deck, which isn't that great, mainly because you'd rather them in the grave. But if he does that, he takes all your opponent's monsters with less attack than him and changes them to defensive mode. So he can kind of deal with some things that your opponent might have. He's not always useful, but he's still a 6 zombie, and I won't fault him for it. Next up is Archfiend Zombie Skull. The only way to summon him is using Spectral Sword. But when you do summon him, I'm not gonna say if, it's when you summon him, he says your zombies can't be destroyed. Well, by card effects, period. So Great defensive card for zombies. I'm happy to finally be able to use him. Revive King. Revive King, he kind of just turns off engrave effects when you destroy him by battle, which is kind of beautiful. And that's for all zombies. And I play Zombie World, so I can usually get that effect off quite a bit. If he used to just be, I run him because he's my only 6-star zombie. Well, now I have 2 more to run with him, and it's never steered me wrong. 7s, Yazi, can't be targeted. You won't be getting his other effects off. Moonlight. It's just like spot removal and yeah, it's really just spot removal. Not much I can say. I don't really need the normal Black Rose, and you'll see why in a little bit. But it's just solid as far as 7s go. 8s, Scrap Dragon, because you can guess it. I still run Bells, so I will Scrap Dragon and Bells if I can, whenever I can. So that's why he's here. Crimson Blader, because she turns off certain decks. You make her, and in certain situations, that means you win. Then Skaarlight, the reason why I don't run Black Rose anymore, because he can field wipe too without killing himself, and then I lost my train of thought.
That's a good card.
Yeah, he's beautiful. He's just beautiful. Just a great card. Field wipes. Oh yeah, he's easier to make. 8 stars in this deck is what you can make most of the time, so can't complain. Omega, the most important 8-star in the deck now, just because during your opponent's turn he does the most. He'll snatch back cards you banished, put it back in your graveyard. Well, he can do it to either player, but you're gonna want it for your Mizukis and stuff. And he can even banish cards at your opponent's hand. And by doing that, he banishes himself too, so he's protected from things, and he'll come back the next turn. He's just really annoying. I love him. And 8 stars, Shogun Saga. Sorry about the name. He's an 8-star zombie, and that's kind of beautiful because we didn't have that before, which means a spectral sword target, and he can swing over anything because he can banish a Shiranui from the grave, or it might be any zombie, but I think it's just Shiranui, and he gains that attack to himself, so he can he'll put up game. He can swing. He can get really high and put up game. Bells, because I run Dark Tuners. Why not? Then Star Eater, because you can go into, because of Unizombie's level modding, you can go into it, and I don't know, it's too good to not make. I missed my order there. Oh well, my bad. Leo. Once you do go that high sometimes, and he can be troublesome to an opponent that's not prepared. And if I get a chance to, I will make him and Star Eater, because in perfect worlds, they're both zombies if I want them to be. And then my rank 8s for my Underworld plays. Zombie Stein, 4500 beater, who can he can neg monster effects. I can't complain about that. Of course, he has to go in defense mode when he does it, so he's vulnerable. But with some smart playing, you can avoid that. You can avoid him dying. Solid. And then Lancelot. He hits directly. He pops a card. He's arguably better than Zombie Stein, even though he's weaker. Except he mandatorily has to negate spell and trap effects. So you have to be wary of his effects sometimes.
Alright, that's it. If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up, leave feedback. I know a lot of you guys are hoping to see this profile, so here it is. And remember, you can support us by buying a playmat, and if you don't have any money, you can always just support us by liking on Facebook, Twitter, following us on all the social media. It's all in the description. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Later, guys.